You have just downloaded the Barbecue Central Show, which airs live every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Barbecue Central Show is brought to you by Sucklebusters. You can find them at sucklebusters.com. Also by the BBQ Guru, creators of automatic pit temperature control technology. They can be found at thebbqguru.com or call them 800-288-GURU. And by the Chops Power Injector System, the 2015 Barbecue Tool of the Year at the NBBQA. Find them at barbecuekansascity.com. And by Butcher BBQ. From injections to rubs to sauces, always trust your butcher at butcherbbq.com. And by Big Poppa Smokers, your one-stop online shop for everything and anything that has to do with barbecue. Their website is bigpoppasmokers.com. And by Cook Shack Pellet and Electric Grills. Visit them at pelletcooker.com or cookshack.com or call them 800-423-0698. And by the Sam's Club National Barbecue Tour. 31 cities, $500,000 in cash to be won. Find out more at kcbs.us/Sam's Tour. And by Cookin' Pellets. You can buy Cookin' Pellets at cookinpellets.com. You can also visit amazon.com to purchase as well. And by Green Mountain Grills, some of the best pellet grills on the market today. You can visit them at greenmountaingrills.com. And by iGrill, the Bluetooth grilling thermometer that allows you to monitor temperatures from 150 feet away. Use promo code CENTRAL for 15% off your purchase at iDevicesinc.com.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling. Broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here for your Tuesday evening fun and frivolity outdoor live fire cooking show. If you want to jump in tonight, 216-220-0966. You can also email the show, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, like signing up for the newsletter. So head on over there, thebbqcentralshow.com. If you want to check out what's happening over there. And here's what's happening on the show tonight. So, as you would recall, last week, I said this show, this Tuesday, is going to be one that focuses solely on the teams that are in for the 2016 Barbecue Central Show reality follow-a competition team show. Is that right? So, coming up at 9:14, the pitmaster of Backdraft Barbecue and the team that qualified for the 30-plus competitions in 2016, Ryan Grob. Boom. Then at 9:35, we will be reprising the ever-popular, growing in fame by leaps and bounds, I might add. I am literally getting 15 to 40 emails a week telling me how great the... Yeah, you guys are going to have to repop the feed. I think I dropped out. That's all right. Literally telling me how incredible can a freshman say it is? We revive it at 9:35. And then we will move to the second hour. At 10:14, we will have one of the two teams that have qualified for that 15 to 20, maybe 25 competition range. The pitmaster of Momma and Papa Joe's barbecue team, Clarence Joseph. Hook it up. CJ and I will chat. And then 10:35 is open, so we might look into seeing some recaps of 2015, the highlights. If you have a particular highlight of a show this year, or a memory, or a guest, or whatever, I have reserved the last segment of the last show of 2015 to be open for us to talk about that and do all that fun stuff. So there's your show. Ryan Grob, can a freshman say it? Clarence Joseph, and open. Wow. What a great show. Jam-packed for the end of the year. All right, so look, as I ask you each and every week, let everybody know the show's on. Blast off an email, make a Facebook post or a tweet. Let everybody know that you are watching the show on these links. You can get the audio on the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. There's a huge red button. It says like listen live or streaming now or something along those lines. You can do it that way. That redirects you right over to the, what's the name of that app? TuneIn Radio. Jeez, oh Pete. It says on air. Thank you, Patrick. It takes you right over to the TuneIn Radio website, but there is an app for that too. So if you've ever wanted to listen to the show like on your phone while you're on the road or in the airport or whatever, you can download the TuneIn Radio app on your Android device or your iPhone. They are for free. They have a free platform and a free platform, so choose whichever you like. And you can not only get the show live on Tuesdays through TuneIn, it will play all of the recent shows since like 2014. I think I might have 2 years in the bullpen right now. So if you miss this show live, it replays the whole next day. So all day Wednesday, this show tonight will play for 24 hours, and then we go into the replays of the last 2 years. Now you can also get the show on Roku, so maybe you got a Roku for Christmas. How about that? Good for you. Congratulations. Go to the App Store in Roku and find Outdoor Cooking Channel and then download that app. Not only do you have a host of archives there from all the shows that Kevin has on his channel, but you have the live feed as well. You can watch it right from your TV. In fact, my parents watch this show and Chad's show previous right on their Roku each and every week. They take pictures of it just because they think that maybe I don't think that they're really doing that and say, yeah, we're here. We're really doing it. So that's the way you can get it as well. And it's on a number of other IP television platforms. IPTV is like what Roku is, Internet Protocol Television, by the way. So number of ways you can get the show. Of course, you can get the replays through iTunes like the majority of you do. It's on all the podcast feeds. Blueberry.com has it as well, so check them out. As I mentioned last week, let's see, on the main website, on my site, BBQCentralShow.com, up at the top, there's a little link. It says Amazon.com. If you click on that, don't worry about the drop-down menu, but if you click on Amazon.com, that will pitch you to Amazon.com. But I've set up an affiliate link, so anything you buy through Amazon, through that link, kicks the show back a very small percentage. That money I use to reinvest into the production of the show. Something simple for everybody, doesn't cost anybody anything extra than Amazon paying me for driving traffic to them. So if you use Amazon, and by the way, who doesn't use Amazon? I mean, they could charge $200 a year for Prime. That has to be worth it. I ordered stuff on Saturday. It came today. This microphone stand I ordered on Sunday. It's here. It's here. What's not worth that? It's so good. I can't wait until I get my first drone delivery. It's going to be so exciting. So I ask humbly, if you shop through Amazon or you want something through Amazon, please let me know. All right, let me talk to you quickly about some of the other stories that Pork Barrel Barbecue was covering. Last week, we talked about Famous Dave, and then we also talked about the TV shows of barbecue. Number 8 Fire Up the Grill steak cook-off popularity sizzles, and I agree with that. It's a good story. Number 7, on top of the world, barbecue wins World Food Championships. Thank God, about time. Congratulations to them. Number 6, Merry Christmas year-round, barbecue gives back. That's a nice expose or article, I guess, on Operation Barbecue Relief in the KCBS. Number 5, you don't know Jack, but Tuffy Stone does. Cool Smoke wins second Jack Daniel World Championship Invitational Barbecue. And the number 4 story was the American Royal moving out of the original location into Arrowhead Stadium this year. Number 3 was Stubbs. I didn't even know this, by the way. Maybe you didn't know this. Show me the money. Stubbs, legendary barbecue brand, sells to McCormick for $100 million. Wow. Rocky. Dude, I'm about to hit you up for some cash ducats. Wow. That's huge, right? It's huge. The second story, which I believe came out today, December 20th, barbecue takes care of own. Hashtag Team Berg. And if you don't know the Killer Bees barbecue team, Jim Berg is the pitmaster there. He's actually been on this show as well. And it details everything that, kind of went on with Jim had fallen sick, and I don't even know if Jim is really out of the woods yet. I mean, it has been months and months, but everybody in the barbecue community really rallied around him, and so that's certainly good to see as well. And we'll see what happens with the number 1 story, which will come out tomorrow. By the way, I do want to mention that the third team that's in that 15 to 20 range, which is Tim from Tim's Full Belly Deli, is not going to be on the show tonight. And I do want to send special thoughts out to Tim and his family. He just lost his son-in-law, I believe it was yesterday. And I had communications with him early in the morning before that happened, and then had read hours later that had happened. So he had been very sick for weeks. They weren't able to really pinpoint exactly what was going on, and he passed away. So Tim will not be on the show Tuesday, although he had committed to doing so. And I said, no, so you got too much going on. We'll rebook. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And feel really bad for Tim and his whole family and what they're going through there. And also, as pointed out by Diane as well, one of our own, Sylvie Curry, lost her mom at 96 years old yesterday. So thoughts out to Sylvie as well. So, all right, great happy notes to head into the first break. But look, that's the other side of the coin, right? So here we go. Let me talk to you about Butcher BBQ products. Yeah. As I mentioned last week, few new things going on at Butcher's, like the brand new website. Has anybody been to the new website? Thank goodness the website address hasn't changed. ButcherBBQ.com. Head on over there. Take a look around. See the new digs. Kick it around a little bit. If you have any questions or you think something should be revised or added to or whatever, feel free to shoot our good boy Dave Bosco over Butcher BBQ an email or shoot him a direct message here on the chat room and let him know your thoughts, and maybe something happens. Who knows? Also, we talked about the new shipping rates at Butcher BBQ. $8. $8 for anything you order. 1 can of rub or 50 boxes of rub. $8. Doesn't matter. What's better than that? I don't know. In a day and age when the U.S. Postal Service is continuing to raise rates on stamps and postage and all this other crap, somehow Dave has beat them down and reduced his shipping costs. Dave, what are you doing over there? He must be luring them in with grilling oil. Come on. By the way, grilling oil up for grads for Can a Freshman Say It? 9:35. If you're looking for the go-to rubs and sauces, ButcherBBQ.com has everything to take care of you. Also, the grilling oils, as I just mentioned. Also, maybe you've bought a crazy injection from some other commercial manufacturer. and you realized, this doesn't taste very good, or this hasn't helped improve my scores. Well, what are you going to do? Before, you had to throw it away. You had to take the kick in the balls from the wife about wasting money. Not anymore. Go to the trade-in link at Dave's website. Print off the sheet. Send your commercial injection to Dave. He will weigh it. And then in return, he will send you some of his product. Whether it is the beef injection or the pork injection or the prime injection or the bird booster. You tell him what you want. He'll send you back that weight in return of his products. He's making his own customers happy. He's making his competition's customers happy as well. And the sauce. Please, oh please, oh please. The sweet barbecue sauce, some of the best stuff out there. Get a box of 6. It's going to go fast. So head on over to the new ButcherBBQ.com. Again, that's ButcherBBQ.com. Stock up now. Butcher Barbecue. Always trust your butcher. Thanks to Dave for support this year. We're looking forward to a healthy 2016 for both sides. And we have Backdraft Barbecue coming up out of the break to lay foundation for the reality radio show that will be taking place between the Barbecue Central show and him in 2016. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Portion of the show is brought to you by Green Mountain Grills. Visit greenmountaingrills.com to check out the variety of cookers that they have. Big ones, medium size, even tailgate size grills to get you hooked up. They also have pellets to fire those cookers. Check them out online at greenmountaingrills.com. I love my Green Mountain Grill. You could love yours too if you visit the website and check them out. As I'd mentioned in the beginning of the show, tonight we're meeting the teams that the Barbecue Central show will be following for 2016. First team up was chosen to fill that kind of 30-plus event threshold for next season. And after evaluating all of the hopefuls, this guy stood out to me as one to watch and follow for next year. So let's go ahead and head on over to the hotline and welcome in first-timer to this show, the pitmaster of Backdraft Barbecue, Ryan Grob, joining me. Ryan, how are you, buddy? Ryan. I got the wrong one plugged in. Ryan. Hello? Hello, Ryan? Hello? 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 No, Ryan. That's all right. Do I need to make sure? Da-da-da. Ding, don't, ding. Don't, ding, dang. Don't, don't, don't. Huh. Let's try it again. Sometimes people don't realize that they just got to hold on a little bit, you know, because I can get to the talking. You heard that ring, too. God, I hate when I leave the ring up. Ryan.
Yes.
My man.
How we doing?
We are fine. How are you?
I am good. I literally just pulled up in my driveway 5 minutes ago.
Really?
Yeah, I was at 13 hours from Illinois to Colorado.
My Lord, yeah, I thought we were going to get you like halfway through Kansas or something like that.
Yeah, I know. I thought I left an hour earlier, and then I guess I had a pretty good tailwind.
Yeah, I guess. Very good for you, flying in that private jet. Appreciate that. Right, so I was telling everybody that we were the focus of the show tonight is kind of to meet at least 2/3 of the teams that we're going to be following for the 2016 Barbecue Central show follows teams season. I haven't really found a really good name for the whole idea yet, but you were going to be filling that 30-plus event threshold or so for this upcoming season. And I guess before we kind of talk about that endeavor and that goal. To me, there were a number of applicants that sent in, hey, I want to do this, and I'm kind of weeding through stuff. But, of course, there's a whole nother side to that, which is you wanting to be willing to take part in a kind of show-it-all type show, if you will. So I guess the first question to you is, what's the draw for you to want to be a team to kind of be followed around and asked to kind of spill your guts when you're on the show each and every time?
Well, basically, it's kind of a new thing for me because I was taught how to barbecue old school. When you knew something that worked, you kept it secret, and there definitely was not barbecue classes that you could take to go learn all the secrets in 1 year and come out smoking. But it's for me, I don't know. I was hesitant, as you know. I mean, I hemmed and hawed about it, and I figured, why not? I mean, I don't care if anybody really knows what I'm doing. I kind of do things way different than anybody else anyway. I do a mixture of slow and low and hot and fast, and I'm not talking about just on different meats. I do both techniques on, most of the meats on the same meats. So, but as a draw, I don't know if I've quite figured it out yet. It's kind of a learn as we go type situation. I've never really cared in who knew what I was doing. I always help out rookie teams and give them some pointers and stuff like that out here in Colorado. So I don't know. Well, I guess we're both jumping in feet first together. So
let me see if I can't boil that down. You're just a big fan of the show and you want to talk to me a couple times a month.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. All right, so Ryan, if you could, maybe for the folks that don't know you, and this is where we get to build some of that personal interest, which I think in a reality show, shows like the Kardashians and some of the other ones, like what's the other one I watch with the fishing guy, Deadliest Catch. Like they do the same thing all the time. Like the Kardashians are just completely aloof and they spend a lot of money, and Deadliest Catch is guys out on a ship catching fish all day long. It's the personal and the emotional investment that we see and build with these people each and every week, which is kind of the desire that I have and why we're taking the direction on some of the teams here next year and why we're following. So, if you could, little insight on you personally, kind of how you grew up, where you grew up, if you're married, the kid thing, if you got any, all that good stuff, kind of let us into your world a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I worked for this guy. He's kind of well known, Mike Mills out of Murfreesboro, Illinois. That's my hometown, and that's where I just drove from this morning, actually. And I worked for him when I was 18, 19 years old. And him and Pat Burke, they won a few world championships cooking with Apple City. And I would drive my truck and follow them to different contests and basically be a nobody gopher for anything they needed or whatever, if they'd allow me to hang around. And I picked up on a few tricks and started cooking as my own team when I was 19 years old. I don't know if I was 18 or 19, but I'm going to say 19 in the Memphis and May circuit. And I did that for several years. And I moved to Colorado and I started cooking KCBS under Backdraft Barbecue in 2005. There wasn't many contests out this way, and it hadn't exploded like it has now. So I think last year I did, I'm not sure on KCBS, I know it was over 30 contests, and I do the SCA steak contest as well. Cooked in the World Steak Championship down in Fort Worth in October. I keep trying to get more and more contests in, which is, as I'm be honest with you, it's proven to be a little bit of a chore this year, as 6 or 7 already that I had on my schedule are either canceling or not coming back, and that's making it rough on a Colorado boy to get a number of contests in. It's hard for us to drive to Florida and California to do contests. So, but I'm going to give it my best. So,
are you like in what part of Colorado are you in?
I'm near Denver.
Near Denver, okay.
Rocky Mountain Barbecue Association out here in Denver. There is a handful of Colorado teams that travel outside of Colorado and do a few cooks, and I just happen to be one of them. So,
have you been out to Ganal's restaurant yet?
Oh, Jason, yeah. The first week he called me every day to come in and help him. He was having problems with employees, so I'd run in there and run his fryer and cook his fries and wings for him, and knock out about a 3-hour shift, and then he'd call me the next day. It was kind of funny, but I think he's good to go now on staff. So. Yeah,
nothing like having a championship cook to come in and kind of fill some boots when needed, right?
It was kind of fun, actually, to tell you the truth. I used to have my own restaurants and stuff, so I don't know that I want to go back to that again. But and he did offer me a permanent position, which I gratefully denied. So,
are you a married guy, Ryan?
I am married. I have a 11-year-old son, and I have a dog that travels to most contests with me. My son plays a lot of baseball, competitive baseball, which I actually am the assistant coach on the team as well. So there's a lot of times I'm leaving on a Thursday night after his game and driving 500 miles into a contest, and then packing up after the awards and taking off to make a Sunday tournament in the morning all the way back in Denver. So it gets kind of choring, but I wouldn't change anything about it.
What year did you specifically start competing again?
1992.
Wow, 92. All right, so that was the year I graduated high school.
I graduated in 91,
yeah.
And I might have done one in 91, but I'm going to say 92 to be safe. I know my first call in ribs was in 93, so I didn't get anything the first year or so. So
this was all was it MBN back then? Like the Memphis Barbecue Network stuff?
Memphis in May, where they do the on-site judging and the same teams pretty much won every week wherever you went, and it was kind of interesting. I did my 21st birthday in I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Popka, Florida.
Popka, yeah.
Popka. It was a Memphis in May event down there, and their side category, I'd never cooked one before. The extra category was brisket, and I cooked it to a beautiful medium rare, and judges came around, and it's kind of a funny story, but that's how I learned how to cook brisket. Is I wrapped it up and put it in foil, threw it in the cooler, drove all the way back to Illinois with it, and broke college kid. I threw it in the oven one day and got called into work and forgot about it. Came home 12 hours later. The oven was on 200 degrees, and voila, I had a really nice brisket in the oven. So
maybe you should be given a class.
You know what people ask me to do classes on is I'm kind of known around here for traveling bites and being a minimalist. I don't even know if that's a word, but taking the minimal amount of things you need to do a comp, maybe a minimal amount, and people pull up and they got 4 cookers, 1 for each category. Yep. And, I pull up, and the last contest I did for KCBS this last year, I cooked the entire contest on 1 drum cooker. Didn't even take a trailer. I put the drum on a luggage rack on the back of my Dodge Magnum and slept in the back of the Magnum and went and did that. And I've actually had a really good cook. So
it has all the markings and shades of one Harry Sue from Slap Yo Daddy, who really considers, I think that's the first guy I'd ever heard use the term like barbecue minimalist. And he was taking it to a point where not only was he cooking on one 18.5-inch Weber Smoky Mountain, but he was also then trying to engineer smaller versions of that and smaller versions of a kettle or something where he could literally use like a couple pieces of charcoal and then that was it, and reduce carbon footprint and do all this other stuff. So you might be one of two.
He'd pack 2 teams in that van too as well. So
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's incredible. So I think that kind of goes to show too, Ryan, that it's not how much money you're sinking into the competition team. It's still how well you can cook.
Yeah, that has a ton to do with it, definitely. So from somebody like me that's never really taken a class or done anything like that, I've pretty much, and I went through a lot of years of trial and error and trying to figure it out. And some weeks it still doesn't work. So, but we do pretty successful in the Colorado and Rocky Mountain area. I think my main goal is I do get out and cook outside of Colorado. I mean, I've cooked in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I cook in Illinois, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, surrounding areas, South Dakota, Wyoming, you know, all those, Montana. But and I've had success in that. But I still have never won a grand champion outside of Colorado, and to me, that's my goal this year. So.
You're cooking in places that are traditionally seen as elevated areas, Colorado, New Mexico, Montana. Have you had to learn kind of the thinner air cooking techniques, or do you find that there isn't really that big of a difference between elevations that you have to contend with?
There is a difference, but that's my normal cooking. I've done a lot of contests at 10,000 feet where cooks come from Kansas and come up and then they get in big trouble. But for me, it's more of a challenge to go down to Kansas and cook, you know, where they're going to, or Oklahoma, where they're going to be in their background. So that is probably where the reputation of Colorado teams can't cook real well out of their element. And part of that I would agree with. There's, you know, a handful of teams that do well, but it's definitely a learning curve. I know you cook up in Frisco, Colorado, your brisket will not go past an internal temperature of 197 no matter how long you cook it and what temp you cook it at. It will stall out and not go any higher. And you have to catch it at the perfect spot.
Yep.
Because when it first hits 197, she's not going to be done. But it's a matter of, how much time until it is done. So it's definitely a challenge.
Ryan Group from Backdraft Barbecue joining us on the show. He's the team that's been selected to be in the 30-plus category of teams that we're going to be following all next competition season. Ryan, when are you gearing up to start 2016?
I actually, not this weekend, but next weekend. The first contest of the year is right here in Denver at the National Western Stock Show. And it's a RLQ event, and there are some really nice teams. I know David from Butcher BBQ is coming. I cooked many years next to him at the American Royal. He's a good friend, and I think it's his first time cooking in Colorado as well. So it should be a really good event. And then I do believe the court site the 2 weeks after that got canceled, so that would have been my second. I'm actually still looking for my second event right now, so probably going to go to Oklahoma in March. So,
right, so we got one on the board. I figure next conversation that we have, we can get into a little bit of flavor profiles and things that you're going to be looking to start the season out with. We'll probably be recapping the cook event as well, and kind of build into the season from there. Let me ask you one quick question before I let you go, and it is competition related, Ryan. I've spoken at length with Sterling Ball from Big Poppa Smokers on growing competition barbecue and what needs to be done. And if you look over how many teams competed in 2014 into 2015, there was a contraction of close to 700 teams. Do you have a thought on the cost of competing, and if pit masters using specialty products and specialty cookers and all this other stuff are perhaps unknowingly pricing themselves out of a growth sport at this point?
I would have to agree. I know Colorado's split between the old schoolers that like to come out on the weekend and have fun, and eventually, every once in a while get called up to the stage, win a prize, and that's getting harder and harder for them to do. And I know that they are just walking away from the sport, and we've lost several teams, good teams out of Colorado that 7-8 years ago were pretty dominant in the sport in Colorado. And, they just don't want to cook the Wagyu briskets and the high quality meats that that it takes to do it. And this day and age, you pretty much have to, unless you do a cook that the meats are provided and you do the draw and all that, which I'm all up for doing that. I have no problem with it. I can cook with pellets and electricity or charcoal and a trash can, doesn't matter to me. But I think it's definitely pricing itself out of the market. It's kind of nice the price of fuel right now. That helps tremendous. But when I was trying to do 25 comps when gas was almost $4 a gallon, it was killing you. So.
Ryan, I apologize. One last question. What's the goal for 2016? Do you want to be KCBS Team of the Year? Do you want to finish, in certain places in the categories? What are the thumbnail?
Yeah. My goal for this year, for this last season where we're, finishing up, was to be in the top 25 in all the 4 of the categories and in the overall. I'm pretty sure besides brisket, I think I've hung out at about 30th all year there.
Yep.
I was, when my season came in October, I was in the top 25, but being in Colorado, nothing around here, just kind of slipped out of there. I think I'm still top 25 chicken and top 25 ribs, and I think pork I'm 26th, something like that. So I'm going to carry over the same goals into next year. Obviously, Team of the Year would be awesome. It's hard to get enough contests in out here, but I'm going to do my best to do that. But that would probably be a little lofty goal. I'm still, 22, 23 years young into this sport and still learning just like everybody else. So,
just for the people that were wondering, 36th overall KCBS Team of the Year result, 25th in chicken, 13th ribs, 26th pork, and 34th in brisket. So, as you said, aside from the brisket, pretty much hitting exactly the goals that you were setting up. So, we'll look forward to kind of following you down the road in 2016, and we'll talk to you again here in a few weeks after that first competition.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, Ryan. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Thanks.
All right. See you. Bye.
There he is. And I hit the wrong button. Good Lord. Ryan Grob, Backdraft Barbecue, doing the plus 30 in competitions for 2016. So very excited. See, that's what I was talking about. If you tuned into the barbecue... If you turned into the pre-Barbecue Central show, known as the Whiskey Been in the Pit show, everybody. Hey, everybody, it's my show, too. At the very end, Chad asked me what makes a good guest. In the end, it's the guest, and it's the passion and the excitement that they're bringing when they're talking. And Ryan he's going to be a great guest. I know CJ's going to be a great guest, too. I've talked to Tim from Tim's Full Belly Deli on the phone. I know he's going to be a good guest. So good luck to Ryan and Backdraft Barbecue as they go to compete in 2 weeks' time. Let me talk to you quickly about the longest-running sponsor of the show, located in Warminster, Pennsylvania, the BBQ Guru. Gang, if you have been thinking about automatic pit temperature control devices for your cookers, stop here. This is the company that started it all. They are the creators of this technology. Why are you going to buy from any other company? I don't know. If you're not familiar with how these little beauties work, I don't get into the minutia, but imagine a product that allows you to set your pit temperatures in one set, keeps it running at that temperature all the way through the cook. Sound too good to be true? It's not. It's real life. You can take advantage of this technology today because maybe you're a busy working professional or you're constantly on the run with kids doing errands. Quite frankly, you just don't have the time to sit around and tend pit temperatures. The BBQ Guru allows you to throw on a pork butt or a brisket or a couple slabs of ribs, and you're off to do whatever it is you need to get done. And the Guru maintains that pit temperature you set it at. There's a bunch of different models to choose from. I want to tell you which one to choose. So go to the website and peruse what they have. And then, if you have any questions, I beg of you, don't guess. Call them instead and get the straight information from the experts. 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. Or email them from the website, thebbqguru.com. A breakthrough in barbecue technology is the BBQ Guru. Again, the contact information, 800-288-GURU, or visit the website, thebbqguru.com. Let me point out that me saying something about specialty beef and all this stuff is a mere statement about cost. Obviously, people use it. Denise makes a point saying that Sterling Ball uses that stuff. There's people that can afford to use that stuff, and then I think there's perhaps a bigger portion of people that really can't afford to use that stuff but feel they have to use it in order to compete. That's what I'm talking about. If you can afford it, if you have the means, whatever. I'm talking about the people that are putting themselves in financial danger by competing or using all the specialty stuff and all the pits and all this other stuff. Pretty expensive. I mean, I don't even compete and I know that. All right, it's can a freshman say it right after this?
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com is the email address. If you want to play Can a Freshman Say It, we're going to load it up right now. Go ahead and shoot me a call. 216-220-0966. And we will be off and running. If you're not familiar with how to play the game, shame on you. But I'll tell you anyway. I'm trying to get my damn mic stick. Oh, man, I didn't even have it turned up right. First time on the show. Here's the deal. You're going to call in. We're going to put you up. It's going to be very exciting. I can tell you right off the bat. You're going to be very nervous. And then we will get into the game show itself. And it's very simple. All you have to do is answer 3 of 5 questions correctly. You have to guess if a freshman can say it, but you guess 3 out of 5 correctly, you win Butcher BBQ products. So let me get into the intro here. And here we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the game show Sweeping the Nation. It is Can a Freshman Say It? And I am your host, Greg Rempe. And we're going to be playing the show right now. We have a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Nick from Corona, California.
Nick with a November, or Mick like a Mayflower?
No, Nick like a Nicholas.
Nick like a Nicholas. All right, very good. Well, welcome in, Nicholas.
Hey, thanks, man.
Or Nick. That's fine. Nick, you know how to play the game?
I sure do.
All right. So we're going to start out. You got to get 3 of 5 right. So here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, Nick. First word. For grilling oil, by the way, from Butcher's BBQ, which can be gotten at butcherbbq.com if you don't want to risk not being able to think like a freshman. Nick, can a freshman say the word barbacoa? Remember, this freshman, who may or may not be my daughter, is reading the word on paper and then has to verbally translate it out of her mouth hole properly. Barbacoa.
No, I don't think so. No way. She can't say it.
No way. All right.
No way.
Go with a no. Lock you in. All right. We go to the soundboard. Show me barbacoa.
Barbacoa.
Oh, look at you. Yikes. All right. Nevertheless, we continue on.
Yeah.
0 for 1, Nick. That's all right. Got to get the next 3 of 4 in order to keep playing here. Nick, can a freshman say one of the most favorite words I've ever said out of my mouth? Succulent.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. All right. Lock you in on a yes. All right, let's go to the soundboard. Show me succulent.
Succulent.
Oh, look at you. Very good. Now we're 1 for 1. You got the hang of it now. Nick getting a mind like a freshman on right now. All right, here we go with your third word, Nick. We were just in my last segment close. I was talking about the cost of barbecue and competition. I don't compete. And I said these high quality beefs like Wagyu. Can a freshman say Wagyu?
No.
No. All right.
No.
This freshman may or may not live in a barbecue-related household. That's fine. We'll lock you in with a no. And the chat room agreeing with you, by the way, Nick. Show me.
I like it.
Show me Wagyu.
Wagyu.
Oh, damn. Well, look at us now. Here we are. We are at the very last question. My goodness. You certainly know how to bring the drama, Nick. Good for you. As a show host, I appreciate that more than you can realize. That's all right. The last word is escape. Can a freshman say escape? And let me throw something into the mix here, Nick.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many people I know that read the word escape and still say escape. And besides wanting to punch them in the face, I don't get it. I mean, what's the deal? But let me just throw that in the hopper for your consideration as well. Can a freshman say escape?
Yes.
All right, we'll lock you in for a yes. Oh, my God. Nick, I'm so nervous. Are you nervous?
Yes, I am. My heart's beating.
I know I am. For the grilling oil, show me escape.
Escape.
Oh, look at this guy. He's a winner. Well, Nick, you have done it. You have out-thunk a freshman. I have no idea how that's possible, but you have done it, my friend. So congratulations to you. All you need to do is send me your shipping information to greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. And Dave Bosca from Butcher BBQ will be happy to send you a 3-pack of the grilling oils, which you will absolutely love because, most of all, they're delicious, and second of all, it's shelf-stable, so you can keep it right out there and use it all the time. Thanks for calling in tonight, Nick. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. There he is. It's Nick, everybody. Yeah. Hey, Nick. Very good.
Oh, sweet blue.
That's right, sweet blue. Well, that was fun. Now, because it is the new year, I actually have a whole nother game on deck. This game show was called Can a 7th Grader Say It? Yeah! So bring it on, ladies and gentlemen. 216-220-0966. Call in and play the newest game that'll be sweeping the nation. Can a 7th grader say it? I will be giving you prizes out of my very own prize closet. Stock full of West Coast offense stuff, injection stuff, sauce stuff. It's a prize pack upwards of $17 or $18, Polly. Yeah. 216-220-0966. And we'll get you right up to talk about, or not to talk about, but to play the game show. It's fun and exciting. All right, we'll wait for somebody to call. Got to get back to my notes here. Good Lord. Thanks, by the way, thanks again to Ryan Grob, who will be offering himself to the general Barbecue Central consuming public all next year. Remember, if you're new to the show, in 2016, I will be following 3 different teams. 2 of them are in that 15 to 25 contest range, and Ryan is expressly selected for the 30-plus event range. And as he said, on his own accord, by the way, that it's got to be tough for him because he is going to be playing the... I mean, as a father of a daughter who is a very high-level athlete at 14 years old, and the time requirement it takes, just in a logistics standpoint, for me to get, for me and my wife to get her to practices and then to tournaments, and now playing at a higher level on the volleyball side, these tournaments could be 2 days instead of 1 day now, to leave and compete and then be back for a tournament on Sunday. I mean, whoa. That's going to be taking a toll over the course of 12 months. So It'll be very interesting to get that dynamic and how that may or may not affect him at his cooks and the competition side of things, and then making sure that he's getting enough time at home and making sure everybody's good on that side, too. A lot of responsibilities there. So thanks to Ryan for coming on. Again, CJ, Clarence Joseph, will be joining us in the second hour to talk about a little groundwork on him before we go into the competition foray with him in 2016. All right. Had someone on the line there and then lost someone on the line there. See, I don't know. Like, why am I even going to be friends with this person on Facebook? I see all the other people that are friends with this person on Facebook, and I look at one of this person's pictures. I have no idea why I would even want to be friends. Some people just love friends. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a friend whore on Facebook. I accept pretty much everybody. But if it looks weird, I'm going to click on your particular page and see if you just don't have a bunch of nudie pics up there. I want no nudie pics. Not up in here.
Get that free stuff out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's right, Sweet Brown. Let me make sure. All right, Dave, I do not have shipping information on Nick yet, so as soon as I get it, I will go ahead and pass it along to him. This will be the last show of the year. Jason King loves nudes, by the way. Of course. You know, I've said it time and time again. In this technology-driven world and all of the advances and all of the things that you have at your fingertips and everything that you kind of have to pay for on the internet now, did anyone ever think that at your fingertips at any second, any time of the day, 24/7, 365, porno would be free? I mean, I know there's a lot of money going on in the porn industry, but there is so much free porno out there. I couldn't believe that has not somehow gotten gobbled up by you got to pay to have any type of access to any. There is just nudity all over the place. I love it. I hope that never goes away. It's crazy. It just blows my mind that there is that much free porn on the internet still. It's crazy. That, and maybe if we're doing stories, who turned the channel? Come on, Steve. And by the way, Jason King brings up a good point in the chat room. Maybe the story of 2015 isn't anything about racial tensions or gay and lesbian weddings or the cost of doing barbecue competitions or anything like that. Maybe it is the fact that a well-known porn rag, Playboy, has done away with nudes. Jason has canceled his subscription. A lot of people will tell you that they read it for the articles. Jason reads it for the naked women. Yeah. You know why everybody else reads it. I mean, there is a magazine. Wow, I've never, ever... That's the biggest news story of the year. It just happened. I sneezed on the show. I've never done that before. Never, ever. Never done. A well-known porn rag like Playboy has gotten so jacked up on itself by hearing over and over again, I just read it for the article. I just read it for the article. We tell you, if you're doing your audience survey of why do you read Playboy and these guys sound like this, I just read it for the articles. Liars. Every one of them. Get that freak stuff out of here. Anybody who sounds like that is reading it for the pictures, okay? I just read it for the articles. I read it for the Jackie Motlin joke page. Whatever. All right. Can we get me out of this segment quickly enough? No, not possibly. We're going to come back to wrap up the first hour after this. By the way, congratulations to Nick for winning, Nick Esparza. Yes, from Corona, California. Good for Nick. Good for winning. Folks, if you didn't know by now, and I've told you time and time again, Big Poppa Smokers is the one-stop online shop for anyone interested in barbecue. Number one dealer of Mac pellet grills in the world. Big Poppa Smokers features a wide selection of American-made grills and smokers, such as the Old Hickory Ace BP, Gateway Drum Smoker, even a drum kit that gives you everything you need to make a world-class smoker out of a 55-gallon drum. Big Poppa Smokers also has made a name for itself in recent years by crafting an award-winning line of championship rubs from flavors like Sweet Money to Happy Ending. Their rubs have had a hand in winning almost every major barbecue competition, including the 2012 and 13 American Royal, the 2012 and 14 Jack Daniels, the 2014 Houston Livestock and Rodeo, I think the 2015 King of the Smoker, all that. They win a lot, right? BPS can't be pigeonholed into competitive barbecue either. BPS has become so well known, they've been picked up by a nationwide restaurant chain. BJ's Restaurant and Brew House, with 4 of the 9 rubs featured on their permanent menu. Amid glowing reviews, BPS rubs have proven to be a great addition to anyone's pantry. Big Poppa's also banded together with fellow California-based rub company Simply Marvelous Barbecue to form what has now become known as the West Coast Offense. Defying conventional wisdom, these 2 California-based rub makers have cornered the market on competitive barbecue and begun to redefine the flavor profiles that competitive cooks from across the country have begun to aim for. BPS features an online meat locker with top-quality meats from Snake River Farms, shipped right to your door, from the American Kobe beef, the Kurabuta pork, the Double R Ranch meats. Big Poppa's Meat Locker has something for every type of barbecue and grilling aficionado. Committed to bringing you the best flavors on the market. That's why they offer you a fine swine sauce, Granny's barbecue sauce, Swamp Boy sauce. New kids on the block this season. Who will the new kids on the block be next season? Stay tuned. BPS also has the Elite Team, featuring 15 of the best competition teams in the country working together to promote camaraderie, competition, barbecue, and benefiting children's charities across the U.S. Keep in mind, BPS doing this in only almost 6 years of being in the biz, turning the competition world on its head, providing customers with the very best barbecue products, becoming a staple of a nationwide restaurant chain, and, most importantly, benefiting children's charities across the U.S. Just the beginning for Big Poppa Smokers. All right, we will be back to wrap up the first hour right after this. Phone calls, emails at 10:35. It's an open segment. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
This portion of the Barbecue Central Show is being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookinpellets.com for more info or to purchase. You can also visit amazon.com to purchase as well. I don't know if anybody is reading the chat room right now, but there is a delightful conversation going on with one David Qualls, who is detailing out the number of states and miles that he drove this competition season. 18 states. I'm no mathematician, but let's see. 18. Carry the 1. 7 divided by. That's roughly 97% of the states in the union. Wow, look at that guy. Also, 40... count them. I'm not saying 14. I'm saying the number 4 in the letter D. 40,000 miles. Whoa. For barbecue, Now, I believe David is well versed in the whole in-the-car windshield time between where he lives and where he works. I think that's a pretty big drive, right, Dave? But 40,000 miles for barbecue. And for finishing second. I mean, Dave, I don't want to be the guy that points out the obvious here, but you finished a little short, pal, so you need to do 80,000 next year to win. Let's go. Come on. Pony up. Pony up. You can do it. What's another 30,000 miles between... Wow. 18 states and 40,000 miles. That's huge. That's huge. The question of the day is, do 40,000 miles get to be written off to the Fed Gov at 55 cents a mile? Does that happen? Does that happen? Wow. I believe Dave Qualls unequivocally did not take up my offer to do more miles next year. How about that? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Considered a hobby. Yikes. Not for that. That's a FTJ. Full-time job. I mean, that's more, that's 3 times and then additional 4,000 miles than people get with their lease of 12,000 miles a year. You more than tripled that. If you were leasing your car right now, you would be in charge. You'll have some splaining to do. All right, let's load up for the second hour. Going to refresh my Cabernet Sauvignon out of a box because I'm high class. But at least I got a big-ass glass. I suggest you do the same. And we'll see you back here for the second hour. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Last one of the year, folks. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
Just like that, we are into the second hour. Just like that. Friends and family, you have found the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central radio networks. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm Greg Rempe. I am your host. And thanks for hanging out with me here for the second hour. If you missed the first hour, shame on you. You've missed the time. What have you been doing? You can get the show on podcast, on replay at a number of different places. Here on this website, Outdoor Cooking Channel. iTunes will have it up first and quicker than anybody else. So you can get everything that happened in the first hour right around midnight tonight if you just can't wait to get your hands on it until tomorrow. And you need to have it right now. So like 11:59, the download becomes available. I've been getting some emails over the last couple weeks since we've moved into the new studio confines, which you can't see because I run a green screen here. But why do you reach off to the side like this at the end of your segments? It's because on top of the door, let me see, actually, I might have a picture. Sometimes it's better. I know the people that get the download won't be able to see this portion of it, but not everybody can see everything. Where is it? Oh, okay, here we go. So this is a picture of what it looks like right over the door as you get in. I have an on-air sign. So when, like right now, that is lit up. And then when I am in between breaks, I flip the switch down and then the light goes off. And then if, like my show producer or my intern or whatever needs to come in and see me, they can come in. Then when it goes back on, people know I'm on the air, and it better be an emergency or a guest is being ushered in to go live on the show because we have somebody scheduled in, which is rare. I have a great new guest portion over on the other side of my studio right now that is just yearning to be used. So if you are going to be in the Cleveland area at any point, feel free to drop me a line. Tell me you're going to be up here. You'd like to come in and sit. I mean, of course, it helps if you're going to be here on a Tuesday between the hours of 9 and 11. Like, really, that's key. Aside from you being here live, it's key that you're here Tuesday between 9 and 11. And then we'll set you up. I have that whole wall is green screened. I can fit you back in. It'll be wonderful. I got your own microphone. Wow, your own lighting. It's fabulous. A huge band. I'm going to do a video tour probably at some point. This is what I wanted to tell you about last week. Couldn't find out. I know this is news you've been waiting for. This is the show that gives you odd news. I've saved it for the last show of the year. Research shows your farts can prevent cancer and are good for people around you. Yeah, that's right. This may sound hard to believe, but according to new research, your flatulence may be very practical, not just for you, but for people around you. New research from the UK reveals that farts can fight cancer and other deadly diseases and illnesses, reports The Mirror. Has anybody ever noticed that, and I don't want to be pre-qualified guy that says something and then goes but and then erases everything he just said. It seems to be kind of a recurring thing that the UK sends stuff over like this. It's bizarre. The weirdest stories I ever get on barbecue, the weirdest stories I ever get on cancer-fighting flatulence never comes from Canada, never comes from America, never comes from Mexico or Cuba or wherever else. It's always coming from the UK. Why is that? The story continues. This study, which was concluded by researchers at Exeter University in England, I apologize if I butchered the name, concluded that one should not refrain their farts. On the contrary, it is healthy for you and even those around you if you release them. Human gases contain hydrogen sulfide, which in large doses may be toxic. But according to this new research, the hydrogen sulfide contained in a fart is fine since it's in smaller doses. And as it turns out, these small doses can help prevent cancer, dementia, stroke, heart attacks, report The Mirror. The researchers behind the study are now seeking to use this new information to produce medications containing hydrogen sulfide from where? From farts. If one of the most ruthless products out there on the market today, which we all know is liquid smoke, a additive that is made from distilling smoke into a liquid form and then putting it into a bottle. It's gross. It's the worst. If real smoke flavor is delicious and romantic, its liquid form is one of the most repulsive things you can ever put in your mouth or as a ingredient in a recipe or everything. It's the worst. Why would making medication from farts be any different than that, right? Not that a regular fart is good and a distilled fart is going to be like worse or whatever. Researchers say we have exploited this natural process by making a compound called AP, like alpha Poppa 39, which slowly delivers very small amounts of this gas, specifically to the disease, researcher Matt Whiteman told the Mirror. So, next time you're out, or next time you're wherever you're at, and you got to fart really bad, I mean, usually, what do you usually do when you got to fart?
Nothing.
Nothing. You do nothing.
Nothing.
That's right. I already said that. Now, you can just rip loose. Go on. Get after it. Nobody cares. You're like, hey, somebody be like, wow, hey, did you just fart? You're like, yeah. Am I preventing cancer for you by ripping ass? Yes. Yes, I am. And lucky for you, I'm going to be here for like the next 4 or 5 hours, busting it out like you have never seen. Preventing cancer like my name is Superman. Giving all new praise and fondness to the name Ass Man. That's right. Dave Bosco weighing in. That's why you've never heard of a dog dying of cancer. That's right. It's crazy. The dogs fart. Wow. So do cats, by the way. Anybody want 2 cats? I got 2 cats up for sale. Free, and I'll pay the shipping mail if you need. If you want, if I can really save some money, I'll ship a medium mail with maybe 1 or 2 holes. I agree, Patrick. Get me out of here. Where's Clarence Joseph? We got to tighten up. Let's tighten up. Maybe Patrick means we've sunk to a new low in medical research. If tearing bottom means health for everybody. Maybe we had the answer all along. Man, I feel like a schmuck now. Happy holidays from Cook Shack. So thankful for all their customers, vendors, dealers, distributors, employees, sending a special wish out to the listeners of the Barbecue Central show for a prosperous, happy, healthy, and tasty new year. That's right. Cook Shack manufactures electric smokers, pellet-fired smokers, pellet-fired charbroilers, and pellet grills. They also sell accessories, sauces, rubs, wood pellets to use in the ovens and grills. With a variety of sizes and styles, Cook Shack can fit the need of any customer. Cook Shack provides commercial and competition cooking classes, online recipes, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website, cookshack.com or pelletcooker.com. That's their blog. And their social media groups on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Instagrams, and LinkedIn. Also, they have a world-class barbecue forum. On the competition circuit, Cook Shack's pellet-fired smokers are the choice of champs. Teams from the coast to coast, West Coast, East Coast, North Coast, all have pellet-fired smokers. The choice of champs. The FEC 100 can handle all 4 meat categories with ease, while the Fast Eddies by Cook Shack PG 1000 and 500 and pellet grills smoke on the indirect side and grill on the direct side. You can purchase a Cook Shack unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. Buy any Cook Shack product. If you're not 100% satisfied, return it in 30 days for a full refund, credit, or replacement. Cook Shack is dedicated for crafting smoker ovens to give you that genuine pit barbecue wood and smoke flavor. They continue to develop and improve their products with an inspiration of smoking made simple. They'd love to share their passion for barbecue with you. Give them a call, 800-423-0698. cookshack.com, and pelletcooker.com. That's right. All right, we will step away. We will reload with Clarence Joseph from Mama Papa Joe's barbecue team right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. We're locked and loaded. We met the first third of the teams that we are doing the Barbecue Central reality show of competition cooking teams. And now we're going to meet the two-thirds, the second third. The next team, geez, my math is horrible. He is the pitmaster of Mama and Papa Joe's barbecue team. He is a cooking class instructor. He is a championship award-winning pitmaster and somebody that is falling into that 15 to 25 range. Let's go ahead and race over to the hotline and welcome in Clarence Joseph to the show. Clarence, how are you, buddy? CJ.
Greg, what's happening?
Yo, how are you?
All is well, baby. Good to hear you, man.
Yeah, can you hear me all right? I got a little noise there. You good?
Yeah, I've got you now.
All right. Now
I've got you now.
All right, so Clarence, I had Rob Grob on from Backdraft Barbecue at 9:14, and he's fitting that like 30-plus competition range that I was looking for the reality TV show / internet radio show sensation, or it will be a sensation, coming up next year, where we're following three teams from January until whenever they start. Well, I guess from whenever they start competing next year to whenever they end, and getting all the juicy details. So I said, hey, I got a lot of applications for this stuff, and I'm kind of weeding through. But, there's a whole nother thing to this. There's teams deciding that they want to go ahead and jump in here. And truth be told, I said to everybody that got in touch with me, look, let me be very upfront. I need to know and have access to everything that you're doing. It's not going to be for everybody. Plus, you got to have kind of a good personality, because we don't want to be on, 25, 26, 30 times during the course of a year and have somebody that sounds like, they just got up from a nap 5 minutes ago every single time they're on. So, a lot of things that you have to consider as a pitmaster to come on here. So, like, what's the draw for you? Why did you guys want to be a part of this?
Greg, I would really love to get my name outside of Texas. I've developed a little bit of a following here in Texas, but outside of Texas, outside of the American Royale, I haven't cooked any other location. So I think being on this show, being one of the teams that you're going to follow, will help me make inroads into some areas outside of Texas. I'm venturing into Florida end of January for one of my first cooks outside of the American Royale, outside of Texas. So I'm looking forward to it.
Clarence Joseph joining me here on the show. His friends know him as CJ, and he is the pitmaster of Mama and Papa Joe's barbecue team. We're going to get into the whole how the team developed and kind of how you're doing all this stuff and what the goals are for 2016. But if we could kind of really back it all the way out, and maybe even look at it from as you're growing up, where you're from, what you're into job wise, and kids, married. all that stuff? Did you grow up around barbecue, all that good stuff?
Believe it or not, Greg, I was born in Central America. I was born in Belize.
Really?
And came to the States when I was, give or take, 10 or 11. My mom's a great cook. I remember watching her doing a lot of cooking around the house. She never required much help, so I don't remember helping very much. But she's a great cook. And somewhere along the lines, I picked up a love of cooking. Not always barbecue. I remember starting out boiling ribs. And hopefully nobody none of my close friends are listening to me say that. But I do remember boiling ribs and my friends telling me how good they were. But it just led up to a love of barbecue. And I got into competition barbecue in a roundabout way. I had an Army buddy, Paul Carnell, and I. Paul Carnell's been on the show. He and I lived about 10 minutes from each other. Every weekend, we'd be cooking over one or the other's house and always, ribbing each other about whose barbecue was better. And this was give or take 6-7 years ago. And the Pitmaster series first came on TV. And for us, it became the next step. If we thought our barbecue was that good, here's an opportunity to prove it. And we threw our hat in the ring with a makeshift team, not knowing a whole lot. I remember running out, spending a couple of $1,000s on pop-up tents, WSMs, the whole 9 yards. But we got into it, and he and I, we cooked together for a good solid 2 years. I'm a teacher, love to teach. Spent some time in the military. I retired in 2006 from the military. After retiring from the military, I started to teach 8th grade U.S. history. And I did that for 8 years. But along that 8 years, someplace within that 8 years, my love for barbecue just really started to take over just about everything I did. I remember being in the classroom trying to teach the kids, but my mind was on barbecue. And after I started competing, every Friday I'd bring my pit with me to work because I leave right after work or sometimes a half a day. And I remember trying to teach, but I'm only thinking of competition. And it started to consume me. And eventually, I had to make that decision to follow my passion. And I resigned last January from my teaching position, and I began to do barbecue full time between competing, giving classes, and a little catering here and there. Things have been working out fairly well.
As far as significant others, married guy, single guy, had been married guy, kids, all that stuff?
I'm a married guy. I've got my 30th anniversary coming up January 2nd.
Wow, look at this
my
guy.
Wife, Alicia.
Happy New Year,
my
indeed.
My wife, Alicia, from Hamilton, Ohio. So she's your home girl, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, we've been married 30 years. We've got a 21-year-old daughter who is now a senior at, in San Marcos, Texas State University. Great girl. She's majoring in nutrition. She wants to be a dietitian. So she's really doing well. She's taking care of business, and I expect nothing but great things from her. My wife is my absolute support foundation with this barbecue. You'll hear guys say it all the time. If your wife does not like you competing, you probably won't be competing, or you won't be married very long. I'm fortunate enough that my wife does support this habit. It can get lengthy, especially when I'm doing those back-to-back cook-off, and she's trudging along with me. She's a trooper. Love her for it.
Ryan sounded like, at least the majority of time, it's just him. He's going out. He's a one-man cook team. And, it seems like over the last handful of years where it was at least 2 people, and sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe even up to 7 guys and gals, or a mix of co-eds going out and making up a team. Sometimes they would trade off here or there, lose 1 or 2, but there always seemed to be at least 2, with gusts up to 5, 6, and 7, depending on who you're talking to. Now I see more of a trend of just the snipers out there. It's just the husband, or it's just the wife, and maybe it's a work thing, or maybe it's because the guy or the girl wants to get away from the significant other to keep that marriage going, whatever the case may be. But she goes with you and helps, or she just kind of go with you just to kind of be with you and socialize while you're doing the cook thing, or how does that work?
It started out with a little bit more of socialization. She's a talker. She loves to socialize. But within the last year, she's really wanted to take a bigger role in the cooking. And I've started off slowly, giving her more responsibility. She's seasoning meats, even though I find it hard to turn my back while she's doing anything like that. But she's taking on a bigger role. She's my primary box runner. But she's definitely slowly but surely taking on a bigger role. And, team dynamics, I think a lot of people are realizing that team dynamics really play a huge role to have a successful competition team. Very often, a lot of the guys I speak to, tell me that they once were part of a larger team, 5, 6, 7 guys. But that's a lot of cooks in the house. People want responsibility, and not everybody can do everything. You will find that some of the most successful teams across the nation in competition barbecue tend to be the smaller teams, the individuals, or the husband and wife, or the two teammates. So team dynamics really play a huge role.
Do you think that's just specific to the fact that, as you alluded to, there's not as many cooks in the kitchen, not as many offerings of advice, or do this or do that? Because obviously the more you have, the more input you get, and sometimes that's probably not to the benefit.
I agree with the input, and there tend to be a lot of second guessing. Like I said, Paul Carnell and I started cooking together in 2006, and we cooked together for 2 years. And as we both got more and more comfortable in the competition game, we each wanted a larger role in terms of determining how things would be cooked, what would be turned in. And he's a very good friend of mine, and I really wanted to keep that friendship the way we had it. And internally, I just felt that eventually, if we kept going in the direction where both of us were sort of passive-aggressive, struggling for control, eventually I think, we would have come to words or something, and it would have really destroyed the friendship to a degree, so to speak. So we made the decision, to cook by ourselves. And I will tell you, I think it worked out for the better. We both became much better cooks a lot faster than we probably would have if we had continued cooking together. Having that freedom to experiment, to take chances, to be in charge of everything from A to Z really, really made me a better cook.
Clarence Joseph joining me here on the show, pitmaster of Momma and Papa Joe's Barbecue, one of the teams that will be following all next competition season in 2016, kind of fitting into that 15 to 20, maybe 25 range. Plus, CJ gives cooking classes, which we're going to be able to really get an inside look at as well this year, which we've never been able to do, which we appreciate. Let me ask you, kind of following up on that whole your wife taking a little bit more of an active role in the camp part, not just the socialization. Because of what you said with your previous cooking partner, does any of that on the outset here worry you that if she wants to take more and more role, that there's going to be that conversation that might have to take place? Or worse, she takes more of a role, and at the end of a contest, you feel like maybe she did something that put you guys down a couple points and you missed a GC, or something else where she feels you've done something, and now there's a whole car ride home where something might have to be talked about. Because you still live with her, right?
Great question. I really, really believe that the wife and I, we've got a great understanding of our dynamics at a barbecue cook-off. She knows and believes in me as a head cook. I don't think she would ever get to that point where she would want to really start controlling and making these important decisions, these detailed decisions concerning what goes on at a cook. She trusts me. She understands that I've got that knowledge, that ability, and she's behind me 100%. Now, the part where she really, really burns me sometimes, and in a good way, because you definitely have to have that honest conversation in terms of how your meats taste on a particular day. You know, every time we're at a cook-off and we produce something, we want it to be great. And when somebody tells you that it isn't, it really burns, you know. And there may be times when I have to step away from her for a few, just to get over it. But I need that honest opinion, and she is definitely the person to provide that. And she'll keep me grounded. You know, she keeps me very well grounded. I've been known to get a little bit butt hurt or something at cook-offs, and or sometimes if I'm a little too happy, you know, she'll bring me back down. So she keeps me on an even keel, and like I said, she understands her role as my teammate, as my partner.
For the people that are just kind of on the periphery of competition barbecue, or maybe they don't prefer to listen to these segments versus some of the other stuff that I covered during the course of the show regarding the industry, they might find it a little odd that somebody could get mad or that they have to step away, for whether it be your wife or a friend or a teammate or whatever. But, you know, just for the people to gain a little bit more insight, this is very real and very important and very passionate for you when you're at competitions. You're not just going to have fun, you're going to win.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you will hear a few cooks talk about they do this just for fun. Greg, this hobby is a little too expensive to be out there doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I can find cheaper ways to have fun. You know, I can find much cheaper ways to have some fun. So I'm one of those cooks, along with many others out there, that take it very seriously. I'm not out there to have fun. Fun just happens to be a part of it. But my primary mission out there is to go out there and try to win. And I will do everything within my power. You know, I go out there and I'm one of those cooks that may be a little too detailed for a lot of other cooks, and I like things done a certain way. There's some things, for example, my wife will not touch because she knows that is mine. I want it done a certain way, and I'm the only one I feel can do it. I've had other teammates when my wife is not able to be out there who come and help me, and they understand the same thing. You know, we get some things straight before they come out there. This is my shop. I make the decisions. If you ever feel like you want to start making decisions or giving me advice, then maybe it's time for you to go on out and form your own team. This is my shop, and I run it the way I do. But in terms of seriousness, I don't know if there's anybody more serious than I am. CJ, I'm absolutely out there to win every single cook-off.
CJ, in terms of competitions next year, you still looking in that like 15 to 20 range?
I'm still looking, Greg. I'm pushing between 20 and 25.
Okay.
I'm really hoping to hit 22, 23, along with 9 classes, 9 of my classes. So it's gonna be a busy year, and I'm so looking forward to it.
I asked Ryan the same question I'm going to ask you. In terms of 2016 overall goals, what do you have penciled in right now?
You know, my top goal for every year is always making it to the Jack. You know, it's one of those bucket list things that I absolutely want to accomplish at some point. So I'm always chasing those 7 qualifiers. I'm fortunate this year I get an opportunity for an automatic invite with the Houston Livestock Rodeo. I get to cook that one this year, but every year that I set off on a new cook-off year, the jack is always my goal. I would love to be able to reach the neighborhood of 10 grands this year. There isn't another San Antonio rodeo. In my 6 years of cooking, one of the things I have not been able to do yet is to defend a grand championship. So that is another goal of mine this year, is to defend 1 or 2, see if I can repeat back to back. But again, it's simply to win as many cook-offs as possible.
Now, because you're a Texas-based guy, do you cook in a particular one of the 3 sanctioning bodies that are down there majority of the time?
I cook in all 3, but because I'm in Central, South Texas, most of our cook-offs tend to be from IBCA. So I would say about 85% of my cook-offs are IBCA cook-offs. Another 10% are Lone Star, and then 5% Gulf Coast.
And then you're going to be looking to pop in maybe KCBS or an FBA here or there.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm looking at the Sonny's Invitational Showdown end of January, which is FBA, Florida Barbecue Association. I'm also looking at a second cook in June in New Mexico. And I cannot remember the name of that particular cook. I've got it on my calendar, but I'm really looking forward to doing a couple of trips out of state. As a retired vet, I've got the time. More often than not is simply the fact that I hate doing something like that without people that I know. I love having friends tagging along. I love having other cooks that I know that I can set up next to. So that's probably the primary reason I haven't stepped outside of Texas more.
Clarence Joseph is the pitmaster of Momma and Poppa Joe's barbecue team. He is one of the teams that will be following along next season for 2016. When do you plan on getting the first one going? That's at the end of January, right, in Florida?
Our first one is middle of January, and it's a huge one. It's in Houston. Hold 'em and hit 'em. In the past, it's averaged around 200 teams.
Wow.
This year, they have decided to close it at 150 teams, and they are already there. They're already at 150. This will be the weekend of the 15th, so right middle of January. So I've got a couple more weeks before I'm back at it.
All right, so we will get you back on and recap that event. We can also lay out flavor profiles that you're going to be starting out with, and any adjustments you've made from one season to the next. And then I'm really going to be looking forward to kind of getting the insight from a cooking class perspective as somebody that's giving it, and kind of how you get the draw and how you get people attracted, and what you're teaching and all that good stuff too. So I'm looking forward to a very productive and insightful 2016 with CJ from Momma and Poppa Joe's. Good luck at that contest, man. We'll talk soon.
Yay. Good speaking to you, Greg. Looking forward to the next time.
All right, there he is. Clarence Joseph, Momma and Poppa Joe's Barbecue. Again, a team that we will be following all next year. So we got 2 of the 3 down. Tim from Tim's Full Belly Deli will be on at some point, maybe next week or week after that, as soon as he's got his stuff tightened up and he feels ready to come on and give us his foundational interview like we got from Ryan and from Clarence. Man, he's this. I think I have hit a home run with personalities at least. Who cares if they win? They're going to be fun to talk to. I think they're going to be very open and willing to give their fortuitiveness to the show and, talk about things that are really going on. And, I think at some points it's probably not going to be barbecue related. It's going to be, personal stuff. It doesn't have to get all slimy and gooey, but we want to know what's going on. We want to know what the life of a real barbecue cook is and what it takes. To have a shot at winning KCBS, it takes 18 states and 40,000 miles. Wow. Dave, that's a lot, man. Wow. That is commitment. Congratulations. All right, folks, let me talk to you quickly about the 2015 Barbecue Tool of the Year. They come in 3 awesome sizes to fit your injecting needs. From backyard cooks to caterers to restaurant chefs, the Power Injector is right for you. Let's break it down. Let me tell you a little bit about each one. Number 1 seller is the half-gallon Chops Power Injector System, designed for competition or to pump up the backyard warrior like me. Easy to use, clean it, fill it, pump it, and go. If you have just one brisket or pork shoulder to do, you don't need to fill it up all the way. Just put in what you need. It uses it all. Comes with 14-gauge needles, 2 replacement needle adapters, 3 plug screws, and a needle protector. It's $100 plus you pay the shipping. Then there's the 1-gallon Chops Power Injector System. Designed for the bigger cater jobs, holds double the amount of the half-gallon system. Some use it in competitions, like when you cook MBN, whole hog, or maybe you're cooking 10 shoulders to get that perfect one. Comes with 14-gauge needles, 2 replacement plastic needle adapters, 3 plug screws, and a needle protector. This one's $120 plus shipping anyway. Then the newest one, the Chops Full Power Injector System. It is electric. It is the commercial and competition Big Daddy. It's not a holding tank, but a 3.5-foot pickup tube that you can put in any size container, from a few ounces to a 55-gallon drum. It was designed for Chef Rob at the best barbecue restaurant in Kansas City. He said time and time again that with the Chops Full Power Injector System, his briskets are better than ever. It comes with metal needle adapters, 14-gauge needles, 3-inch 12-gauge needles, 2-inch 11.5-gauge needles, 3 plug screws, and a needle protector. $325 plus shipping anywhere. A number of the top pit masters and restaurateurs in the world are using the Chops Power Injector System every day to make their barbecue better than the rest. Because here's the thing. We live in a foodie world that requires flavor in every bite, right? This is how you do it and how you do it fast. And it's not just for meat. How about an alcohol-infused watermelon or honeydew melon or cantaloupe or whatever you can stick those needles in and pump pooch into? Every injector is hand-assembled right in Kansas City, Missouri, USA. Extra accessories, you want them, they got them. Want to shoot medium ground spices? They have 2-inch closed-tip needles, perfect for shooting fatty meats and from plugging up the needles with fat. They sell replacement stock needle adapters and plug screws. They have a great upgrade you can buy to make your Chops Power Injector bulletproof. Metal needle adapters. Yeah. Chops Power Injector System gives your barbecue some power. Don't forget, email Dan Uladol, Barbecue Kansas City, BARBEQUE, Barbecue Kansas City. Tell me what the free shipping deal on the Barbecue Central show. Tell them I emailed you about it. They'll be happy to hook you up. And trust me, you're going to be happy. I see more and more reviews on the Chops Power Injector System saying, how did I live without it? I don't know. I said the same thing. Get it. You'll be happy you did. We're back to wrap up the year right after this.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. 216-220-0966. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. If you've missed any of the interviews tonight, you can go back and get the replay starting at about midnight tonight on this website and on iTunes. That's where it will hit first. Video replays you will find at YouTube, Outdoor Cooking Channel tomorrow, typically around the lunchtime hour. So if you want to jump in, here's an open segment. It's the last segment of the year prior to the wrap-up segment, but nobody gets to talk there. So if you've had a particular point you've wanted to make and you've waited all year to do it, this is the one time that I recommend you call in and give me your 2 cents or write in. If you've had a favorite guest that you would like to weigh in on over the course of the last 12 months, I encourage you to call in or shoot me an email about it. Maybe a particular product, maybe a prognostication on the direction that you see the industry of barbecue taking, or the segments of the industry, like competition, like manufacturing, like accessories. This is going to be the year that steam barbecue takes hold of everything. I mean, I don't know. But this is the segment you want to do it at. If there's somebody you want to shout out to or give me a suggestion about the show, this is the segment you want to do it. 216-220-0966. So there's a lot of great places that we can start as we look at the year in 2015 and how it relates to the show. We've gotten a number of new partners to come on during the show this year. Chops, Power Injector System, iGrill came back on again. They were a handful of months last year in 2014, and then came on for pretty much the majority of the year. We have had a number of really what I call the staunch or the stable of tried and true partners of this show. Butcher BBQ, BBQ Guru, Big Poppa Smokers, Green Mountain Grill. That's who I was thinking of. Cook Shack has been around pretty much all year this year. So some of the biggest names in the industry are finding value to partner with this show. And look, if you've ever wondered about what it takes or you really want to, there are some companies that are dropping at the end of the year just because this is when they did it last year, so that's going to be it. So there might be a spot or two that's coming up. I'm sorry, I also forgot Suckle Busters as well. They were a huge sponsor of the show this year as well, giving away a lot of product, doing some great interviews, adding a lot of products this year as well. So I'm just humbled that anybody would even spend $1 with the show and finding the value in it. Let's go ahead and race over to the hotline and take a call. We are at area code 412, name and where you're calling from.
Pittsburgh, PA.
Pittsburgh, PA. And your name, sir?
This is Hootie from Blowfish Barbecue.
Hootie, how are you, buddy?
Great. Yourself, Greg. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad. What can I do for you?
I just wanted to, tell you had a great year of segments this year. A lot of insightful stuff on the barbecue, and you really stepped the game up in 2015. I hope to hear a lot more in 2016. And I just want to say you had some really great interviews with like Aaron Franklin there and Ben Lang. Really appreciated those. And also want to see how's that Lang working out for you.
I'm telling you what. New Year's Day has 5 racks of ribs scheduled for it. So it's going to be, look, nobody knows better than you. We've had unseasonably warm weather up here in I call it the Northeast, but it was 60 degrees.
Yeah, it's good weather.
Yeah, it was 60 degrees or whatever it was for Christmas. So it's dropping down a little bit now. So this will be like the first time I actually get to run it when it's about 32 degrees during cooking time. But it runs great. I found mine, because I have the 36-inch, runs, its sweet spot seems to be right at about 300 degrees. But, man, it's a solid machine. It works great, still looks great, and I've used the shit out of it over the summer. So, yeah, I love it. Do you have one yourself?
Yeah, I have an 84, and I also just picked up a 36 about a month ago.
Yeah.
I went down and took the class with Chef Paul Kirk there and Ben Lang, and those guys put on a hell of a job, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
ever get a chance, Greg, you got to check those guys out.
Yeah, when I get down south, I kind of have a standing appointment with Ben Lang to kind of get down there and hang out. So it's really good, and I really appreciate the call tonight, man.
Well, let me know when you're going. I'm going down to pick up my third, hopefully sometime before summer.
All right, I will do it. Appreciate you calling in tonight.
All right, Greg.
You the man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. There he is. It's my guy. All right, calling in is the pitmaster of the American Dream Barbecue team, David Qualls. Look at this guy.
What's up, Greg?
Jeez, you might as well throw a couple more miles on your back and do this show before the year ends, Dave.
I must say, you have the nicest looking microphone today with that beautiful new desk stand that there is.
Isn't it? It's as pretty as your Jambo pit, right?
Props, yeah. Oh, well, it's a lot more professional looking there, too.
Well,
I love the champagne color of the Heil PR40.
Yeah. I know a guy, if you know what I mean.
Hey, you had a good show. I all year long. Of course, I always enjoy watching your show. And And I liked your interview today. I listened to Whiskey Pit in the car on the way home, so I thought it was good.
Dave, let me ask you, I don't want to turn the tables on an impromptu interview here, but you finished second team of the year as you were kind of chatting along here in the chat board, recounting states and miles.
First loser.
Oh, forget first loser. Forget about that.
If you're not first, you're last.
Look, it's for anybody that didn't understand or can't wrap their head around the time commitment and the miles and obviously the expense that goes along with that. Like how do you finish up in your mind 2015 for you? Second place, doing all this stuff. Is there any bitterness or like, man, I wish we would have done this or I wish we would have done that, or you just take second place and you're like, wow, man, we're second place out of thousands of teams?
Oh no, it's been great. We were on the Shear Show earlier in the year when we were talking, and I started out just trying to hit a grand so we'd qualify for the Royal. When we hit our first grand in April, it'd been 9 months since we had won one, and I was sweating that we weren't going to get lucky enough to ever see it again. And then we just got on a run, and it was like, okay, we're 2 away from the Jack. Let's keep cooking hard. Hit our 7 for the Jack and look up, and we're first place. I mean, then it became hey, it's nip and tuck. It's nip and tuck. At the end of the Jack, we're 4 points off from Travis, and everybody, including, me and my wife, are telling each other, we got to go give it a chase. And you go to Florida, it don't work. You go to Georgia, it don't work. And the next thing you know, you're just into this grind that it doesn't make. If I could erase from October to December out of the season, I'd be chomping at the bit to do it again. But boy, that last month was grueling, and it wasn't worth it.
It seems to be, even for the teams that win, inevitably they ride back to, man, it was a grind. Very happy I won, or very happy I finished where I finished, but to make that run is just a grind that they can tell you all about it, but till you experience it, it's not something that somebody just goes, hey, I can't wait to do it again next year.
Oh, that's for sure. And I know Travis, he's very open about it, that he and his goal and his purpose for cooking this year was to go win Team of the Year. And I can only imagine what went through his head day after day, this contest to the next contest to keep that fight. I'd have went nuts by June with that mentality. He's a monster at that. He's a great cook. He's very focused, and he won it, deserved to win it. What a monster cook, but it's grueling. And if you're going to do it, be sure that you have sponsors or get ready to have a lot of money or spend a lot of money, because, even with winning 10 grands and 4 reserves, we're still deep in the hole in this deal from a financial standpoint. But it's fun. Go out, like I said earlier, I think in a text deal, I'm going to stay close to home this year. I'm going to go out and have fun again, instead of, hey, I need 1 more for the Jack. Oh, I need 1 over 10 points. I need 10 points. I'm done with all that. I've had my run. And now it's time to let's just go have fun again.
Dave, because you were out and you visited so many states and you saw so many teams, do you think that there's a rise of the majority of teams wanting to do what you did to some degree going forward? Or do you think that there's more of a rise of teams wanting to do what you just said, stay a little bit more local and start to get back to having a little bit more fun?
I think I see both of those. I think I see some people, like we just heard Ryan Grob say he's going to make a run at it this year, and that's great. And you've got to be focused, and you've got to be ready at home, and you've got to be ready at work to do that, because it takes more commitment than just you as a team to do this. If you're working or if you own your own business or whatever, you're going to be looking to your partners and your coworkers to support you in this, because you're going to be gone. It's like, going out on tour, and it for sure is. But I see some teams that have the caliber of doing this. But I also see probably 2016 is the last year that we see the Team of the Year format the way it is, which turns it into this 12-month marathon. I think KCBS is going to be working on regrouping how they do Team of the Year, probably, I would say, beginning in 2017. That's going to make it much easier for every team that cooks to have a shot at being a team of the year.
Dave, let me ask you one question here, and I know we've talked in the past, both on and off air, about growing competition barbecue, and I asked Ryan the same question I'm going to ask you. Do you think, and as you look over sheer numbers of teams that competed the year before this year, and you see that there's a 700-team contraction, one would probably correlate. I mean, sure, some are probably just going to wash out, but there has to be some correlation to how having to be competitive now and the associated costs with that treats teams, and how some teams can fit that into a budget, and probably the majority of those teams that washed out between one year to the next decided that they couldn't financially step up. Do you think that the pit masters have kind of jacked up the price on themselves with pits and with gadgets and with the high-profile beasts and stuff that they didn't or they weren't doing 5 and 6 and 10 years ago?
Well, it's supply and demand. Everybody's looking for that magic bullet, and there are people capitalizing on being able to offer the magic bullet. But it's, I'm textbook case proof right here. We started cooking really in 2012 seriously, and made the run we run in 3 years after you talk to guys that's cooked 10 years. It's the classes, it's the internet, it's stuff like your show right here. I mean, people are listening to your show not only because they're barbecue enthusiasts, but, you pick up a little nugget here or there when you have a team on talking about something. And as simple as charcoal or whatever, adjust that mic stand a little bit better. You should have bought that one for me too. You wouldn't have to do that. But anyway, it's the bar is raised, and anytime the bar is raised, supply and demand, everybody wants something better. Can you tweak my Jambo? Can you tweak a WSM? Can you make something that works better? And I see some teams dropping out. What concerns me the most, and I don't want to eat up a lot of your time here, is that we are oversaturating the industry a little bit too. If you say 700 teams dropped out, is that true or not? We've added so many more contests this year, but we're only tracking the guys that are dues paid KCBS members. How many people competed that did not have a KCBS membership card, so their numbers don't go to KCBS for Team of the Year tracking? So you would have to take every contest and manually add the scores to see that difference. I just don't think it's down as much as everybody thinks it is.
Should the focus then be on making teams become members of KCBS so you have a little bit more of a traceability of that?
Well, not for that reason, but I've said all along that if you're going to cook in a KCBS sanctioned contest, you should be a KCBS member for a lot of reasons besides just geopolitical. I mean, I think there's liability reasons. I think there's, jurisdictional reasons that should happen. KCBS doesn't want to address that. They only want judges to be members. But I think that if you cook in a contest, you should be a KCBS member. I believe at some point there's going to need to be intermediate divisions of contests, not just it's a backyard contest or it's a master series. I think at some point we're going to have to create some contests that allow the learning teams and the young teams to have the ability to compete on a more level scale. That whole guinea pig idea is a great idea in its concept of leveling the playing field for everybody has meat and stuff. And that's where I think, that's not necessarily the end all of the deal, because anybody can still enter that, but we need to create some contests or create some divisions that allow those teams that have won less than 3 grand championships in 5 years to compete at a different level to get their skill up. Otherwise, if you get, if you send Manny Pacquiao up against Mike Tyson every fight, Manny's going to quit fighting because there's no way he can beat Tyson. He may get a shot in on him, but that's it. So we need to create some divisions in barbecue to see this thing go further, in my opinion.
David Qualls is the pitmaster of the American Dream Barbecue Team, and he is second overall KCBS Team of the Year, monster year. Congratulations to you and Chris, David, on an absolutely great year. And more importantly, enjoy your time off and enjoy having some fun next year, and we'll talk again soon.
I'll razz you about your microphone, but thanks for the time, and I appreciate everything that you do for barbecue and for teams as well.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Bye.
There he is. David Qualls, if you need him. Do you need him? Yeah, of course. And And he has taken me to my last read of 2015, Sucklebusters. Folks, if you're like me, you'll love Sucklebusters. Oh, my goodness. Everybody getting into the Sucklebusters craze. The new Sucklebusters stuff, the honey barbecue glaze and finishing sauce. All of the rubs. They have 4 new rubs out. 4. It's not a lot of people out there right now that are making 4 more rubs to complement all of the rubs that they have. Now, maybe they don't have any rubs at all. This is the first 4 they're bringing to market. No. Dan Arnold is a prolific products portfolio, sauces and rubs, all award-winning. The new ones are hitting the market now, so head on over to sucklebusters.com. That's sucklebusters.com. You can email sales@sucklebusters.com to inquire perhaps about wholesale or retail and all that stuff. 972-393-9509 is the phone number. Of course, the website, sucklebusters.com. So be sure to frequent them. Loved having them on this year. Wonderful stuff. And we will be back to wrap up this show right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one. Thanks to everybody who called in on the open segment. Love that. All the way back in the first hour, we had Ryan Group. What is going on here? Oh, all right. Yeah. Never mind. I'm way off base. Way off base. We had Ryan Group from Backdraft Barbecue. And we had Nick winning Can a Freshman Say It? And he won it, by the way. Because he has he is able to outthink freshmen. Whatever that means. Then in the second hour, we had a conversation with Clarence Joseph from Momma and Papa Joe's Barbecue. Getting some groundwork for him. He's one of the other teams we're going to be following in 2016. And then we had some... That did not happen. That really happened. God, I hate it when my stuff runs efficiently. And then we had some great calls there in the last segment. So let me do this. Everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, Happy New Year to you. I really appreciate you sticking with the show again for another 12 months as we turn the calendar year to a new year of shows. 2016 will be better than the last 7. You watch. Lots of things in the works. Lots of great shows planned. A lot of great recurring guests that continue on with the show to bring you some of the great stuff you're expecting. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, really? The show is on a rocket ship to Barbecue Universe. That could be the name of my new TV show. Let me tell you this. Have a great New Year's. Have a safe New Year's. We want everybody back here next Tuesday, first and foremost. Secondly, November 11th, 2001. What? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday next year, it's your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good